While some high-salary professions are well known, there's a world of lesser-known occupations that can be incredibly rewarding, both financially and personally. From unique niches to unconventional occupations, these careers prove that financial success can come from unexpected sources. Join me for today's video. I'm going to count down the top 15 most surprisingly high-paying jobs. Number 15. Elevator Inspector, $56,000 to $86,000. They're installed in most tall buildings to help people get where they need to be without having to walk up hundreds of flights of stairs. But while they may be an extremely common technology that's been around for more than a century, elevators have to be meticulously checked and maintained to ensure they remain safe and that we can trust them. Crucial to this is an elevator inspector, who's responsible for inspecting, adjusting, and maintaining passenger and freight elevators, as well as signing them off as being safe and, if necessary, shutting them down until necessary repairs have been made. Taking on this role requires you to understand relevant engineering principles and to have worked for a long time as an elevator mechanic, so you'll be familiar with the different designs and the types of issues that can develop. The internal machinery of elevators can, too, be dangerous if you're not fully familiar with it, and you'll need to know what every component is responsible for, essentially being able to build an elevator from scratch if you needed to. There are several qualifications as well, and a number of colleges offer courses to learn everything, as it's a role that mostly is about ensuring the safety of people that use elevators that you're inspecting. Companies are willing to pay more than you might expect for the best people, and in the US you could be looking at an annual salary of more than $86,000 once you've gained enough experience. Number 14. Court Reporter, $45,000 to $61,000. Courts, at all levels, are where the laws of the land are enforced, whether it's financial, family, or criminal cases that need to be resolved. And to be part of this system often requires dedication and study for many years to become a lawyer, and eventually maybe even a judge. As the decisions that are made in a courtroom can potentially impact people's lives for a long time, it's crucial that comprehensive notes are taken of what happens during a trial so they can be easily referred back to in the future. And simply recording proceedings on tape wouldn't be enough. Instead, a court reporter or stenographer is responsible for capturing the live testimony, and rather than writing it word for word, will usually use a machine called a stenomask. You can't, though, simply turn up to court to apply for this role, as it's a highly trained and specialized position that puts a huge amount of trust into you. In the US, you have to pass tests that check how quickly you can write, your spelling accuracy, your familiarity with legal terms, and your understanding of how to behave in court. And if all goes well, you'll be able to be certified by the National Court Reporters Association. Once you've passed all those steps, you'll be ready to begin a career as a court reporter. And for a role that most people think it's far easier than it actually is, you could be paid up to around $61 grand per year once you've gained experience. Number 13. Nuclear Power Reactor Operator, $98,000 to $127,000. Nuclear power stations use highly complicated equipment and machinery to control reactions in a way that produces heat and therefore electricity. Rather than being a simple job like The Simpsons may have had a lot of people believe, operators in these facilities have to understand every step of the process that's taking place, be under calm pressure, and be able to quickly troubleshoot problems that arise, because if a mistake happens, it could be deadly. Nuclear power reactors will typically monitor and adjust the control rods and cooling systems, as well as overseeing the safety procedures, and are trained to notice even the slightest strange readings so problems can be dealt with ahead of time. A strong understanding of engineering and physics is required if you want to hold a senior role in a nuclear power facility, and you'll need to work your way up by taking on maintenance and generalized positions around the power plant, so you're already familiar with procedures. There are also a series of qualifications such as the Nuclear Regulatory Commission licensing exam, which includes medical checks and has to be redone every year, with full recertification taking place every 6 years. Also worth knowing is that these tests are specific to the plant you work in, so if you move to another facility, you need to redo your tests before you begin working there too. While the entry-level pay for a nuclear power reactor operator is around $43,000 per year, this can quickly increase with experience and proving you're suitable to the role, with salaries often reaching between $98,000 and $127,000 a year. Number 12. Special Agent, $100,000 to $125,000. In the United States, a special agent is typically a trained law enforcement officer who is usually involved in criminal investigations. Almost all the federal agencies have special agents, from the CIA to the FBI and to the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Commerce, and the Department of Energy. Depending on the department, the requirements for who constitutes as a special agent may vary, but in general, they'll have the authority to arrest someone, to carry firearms both on and off duty, and are qualified to conduct major and minor criminal investigations. Getting to this level of seniority requires regular training, from knowing the law to how to handle firearms, conflict de-escalation, and physical restraint techniques, along with plenty more. It's not known how many special agents there are at any one time, but it's likely to be in the tens of thousands, and the salary range is usually between $100,000 to $125,000 per year. Of course, this completely depends on the department that you work for, your success rate, and the level of danger that you face on a day-to-day basis, and can, in some cases, be double that high-end figure. There's also something fairly mysterious about having a role as a special agent, but it's not something to take lightly. It may pay well, but you'll be exposed to a dark side of the world that you won't be able to unsee, which in many cases can completely change your outlook on things. Number 11. Wind Tech, $45,000 to $75,000. A wind turbine technician, often referred to as a wind tech or wind turbine maintenance technician, is a skilled professional who plays a crucial role in the operation and maintenance of wind energy systems. With so many countries now turning to sustainable energy sources, turbines are being built in large numbers around the world, but they're far more complicated than you might think, with many moving parts and complicated pieces of technology. Wind turbine technicians therefore have a wide set of responsibilities. Their primary role is to conduct routine inspections and maintenance on wind turbines, both onshore and offshore. This includes climbing tall towers, sometimes exceeding 300 feet or 90 meters, to inspect blades, gearboxes, and other components for wear and tear. They use specialized tools and equipment to perform repairs and replace faulty parts, making sure the turbines remain in optimal working conditions. In doing this, they adhere to strict safety protocols and procedures, and they often work in challenging conditions, including extreme heights and varying weather conditions. Rigorous training and certifications are essential to ensure they can perform their tasks safely and efficiently. In addition to day-to-day maintenance, wind techs also play a vital role in troubleshooting and diagnosing technical issues. They use their knowledge of electrical systems, hydraulics, and mechanics to identify and resolve problems that may arise in the turbine's operation. It's this specialized knowledge that makes it a well-paid career, with most experienced wind techs commanding salaries of $75,000 or more. Number 10. Certified Ethical Hacker, $79,000 to $131,000. With so much of the world now relying on digital technology and interconnectedness, hackers pose a greater risk than ever before. Not all of them are looking to cause harm, though, and a certified ethical hacker is a highly skilled professional in the field of cybersecurity who specializes in identifying vulnerabilities and weaknesses in computer systems, networks, and applications. Unlike malicious hackers, they work with organizations to proactively strengthen their security measures and protect against potential cyber threats. The main role of an ethical hacker is to simulate cyber attacks on a target system to discover and exploit vulnerabilities. By doing so, they can assess the security of an organization and provide recommendations for improving it. This process, called penetration testing, helps institutions identify weakness before malicious hackers can exploit them. Ethical hackers undergo extensive training and certification to gain the knowledge and skills needed for their role. They must have a deep understanding of various hacking techniques, malware, and the tools and methodologies used by cyber criminals, with training including learning about common attack vectors such as phishing, SQL injection, and buffer overflows, as well as defensive measures to mitigate these threats. There's a variety of tools and techniques to carry out ethical hacking activities, including vulnerability scanning, penetration testing, and social engineering, and they often work closely with IT teams and security professionals to remediate vulnerabilities and ensure that security measures are up to date. Possibly the trickiest part of the job is to keep updated on the latest threats and techniques being used by malicious hackers, and being confident in using a range of different programming languages to be able to quickly analyze any potential risk. While it may not pay as much as if they were working on the criminal side, their salaries are up to $131,000. They get the benefit of knowing that they're doing good, and they don't have to keep a watch over their shoulder for law enforcement. Number 9. Commercial Diver, $47,000 to $115,000. Commercial diving is a highly skilled and specialized role where you'll work underwater to perform a wide range of tasks in various industries. Divers are trained to operate in challenging and often hazardous underwater environments, working on projects such as underwater construction, maintenance, inspection, and salvage operations. Jobs may include underwater welding and cutting, installation of pipelines and underwater structures, inspecting and repairing bridges, dams, and offshore platforms, as well as conducting underwater surveys and assessments. It's work that's critical in sectors like offshore oil and gas, ship maintenance and repair, underwater archaeology, and marine research, which without divers would be virtually impossible. As a commercial diver, you'll use a range of specialized equipment and tools to perform your tasks safely and efficiently. This may include diving suits and helmets, underwater welding and cutting equipment, hydraulic tools and underwater cameras, but you also may need to use diving support vessels and decompression chambers to ensure your safety during and after dives. By venturing so deep into the water, there's a clear risk involved. So much of the training is about safety and adhering to strict protocols and guidelines. Divers need to understand diving physics, human physiology, and decompression procedures, and must be physically fit and capable of working in these conditions, such as low visibility, strong currents, and extreme depths. It's rare that a commercial diver would work alone. They'll usually be in teams and collaborate closely with engineers, supervisors, and project managers to achieve project objectives. They also need to have obtained certifications for each specific task that they'll be performing from recognized organizations such as the Association of Commercial Diving Educators. With all the dangers involved, the knowledge required, and the importance to certain industries, a commercial diver can easily earn upwards of $115,000 per year with the right employer. Number 8. A sommelier, $46,000 to $75,000. There are many roles in the hospitality industry that, if done right, can earn a serious amount, but perhaps the most surprising is a sommelier. Rather than working in a hot kitchen or serving highly demanding customers, this job is all about helping diners choose the right wine to go with their meal, and is, in many ways, one of the least stressful positions in a restaurant. A sommelier, though, will need to know a huge amount about wine and the bottles that are available in the restaurant they work in, and are often responsible for curating, managing, and presenting a venue's wine selection to enhance the overall dining experience. They need to understand, for example, the intricacies of wine varieties, regions, vintages, and pairings with different types of cuisine, and will need to talk with diners to recommend wines that align with their taste preferences and the flavors of their chosen dishes. To do well as one, you'll therefore need a deep passion for and knowledge of wine. Many professionals in this field pursue formal education and certifications, such as those offered by organizations like the Court of Master Sommeliers and the Wine and Spirit Education Trust. These programs cover topics ranging from viticulture and winemaking to wine tasting techniques and service standards. Beyond simply wine selection and service, a sommelier may be expected to host wine tastings, wine pairing dinners, or educational sessions for staff and customers, and in the process create memorable experiences that elevate the dining atmosphere and contribute to a restaurant's reputation. This unique role can therefore pay as much as $75,000 per year in a high-end restaurant, or even more if you're at the top of your game. Moving on to number 7, crime scene cleaner, $27,000 to $68,000. It is a sad fact of life that every day tens of thousands of crimes are committed across the country. Sometimes these events may result in breakages, bloodstains, and disgusting messes. But it's up to the crime scene cleaners to revert things back to how they were once detectives have concluded their investigations. Also known as a trauma scene cleaner or biohazard remediation technician, they specialize in cleaning and decontaminating crime scenes, accident sites, and other locations where biohazards and potentially dangerous materials are present. It's a role that's often completely forgotten about, but it is vital in restoring affected areas to a safe and habitable condition. The job can involve cleaning up blood, bodily fluids, tissues, and other biohazardous materials, as well as removing and disposing of contaminated items like clothing, furniture, and flooring. And not only deals with visible aftermath, but also eliminates invisible pathogens and bacteria that can pose serious health risks. Crime scene cleaners must keep to strict safety protocols and wear personal protective equipment to minimize the risk of exposure to bloodborne pathogens and other hazardous substances. And they're trained to use specialized cleaning agents and equipment designed to effectively disinfect and deodorize affected areas. Essentially, these are people that are called in to clean up what many of us try to pretend doesn't exist in society. And with it being such a gruesome job, it's only fair that they get a decent salary. Entry-level positions may seem low at around $28,000, but with experience this can rise to almost $70,000 per year, which is far more than less specialized cleaners can expect. Number 6. Ice Cream Taster, 60 to 101,000. There are some high-paid jobs that seem too good to be true, perhaps none more so than being an ice cream taster. It's the ideal role for someone with a passion for frozen treats and a discerning palate, and ice cream tasters, also known as sensory analysts or flavor testers, play a crucial role in the development and quality control of ice cream products. Their main responsibility is to evaluate the taste, texture, aroma, and overall quality of various ice cream flavors and products, and in doing so help the ice cream manufacturers maintain consistent flavor profiles and ensure that their products meet or exceed customer expectations. They assess factors like sweetness, creaminess, balance of flavors, and the absence of any undesirable characteristics. But not everyone can do this to the level that's required. To be a successful ice cream taster, you have to have a highly developed sense of taste and smell, and professionals are trained to detect subtle differences in flavors and textures, even in the smallest batches of ice cream. They'll often use specialized tools like tasting spoons and sensory evaluation forms to document their findings, and usually work in a controlled environment, such as a sensory analysis lab, to eliminate external factors that could affect their assessments. It is almost scientific in the approach and has strict protocols, such as palate cleansing routines between samples to ensure accurate evaluations. As well as testing products, ice cream tasters may also be involved in new product development. They work closely with food scientists and flavor experts to create new and exciting ice cream flavors, experimenting with unique ingredients and formulations to satisfy evolving customer tastes. With salaries often exceeding $100,000 per year, those with particularly sensitive palates are in high demand in the ice cream and other food industries, and may even get their tongues and noses insured just in case something happens that prevents them from carrying on in their career.
That's a 10.
Number 5. Algae Scientist, 65 to 95,000. Most of us really only think about algae when we see a dirty fish tank or a stagnant pond, but the microorganisms are integral to life cycles on our planet and are an important area of research. Algae scientists, who are experts in biology and environmental science, specialize in the study of algae and the roles they play in various ecosystems and industries. They investigate the growth, reproduction, and metabolic processes of algae, aiming to better understand their roles in aquatic ecosystems, ranging from oceans and lakes to freshwater and marine environments. This knowledge is important to help assess and prevent issues like harmful algal blooms, which can have detrimental effects on water quality and aquatic life. Algae scientists also explore the potential applications of algae in various fields, including biotechnology, agriculture, and biofuel production. As well as research, algae scientists often contribute to the environmental monitoring and conservation efforts. They assess the health of aquatic ecosystems by analyzing algae populations. And by studying the responses of algae to changes in environmental conditions, they can provide valuable insights into the impacts of pollution, climate change, and nutrient loading on aquatic systems. To have a chance of becoming an algae scientist, which can pay almost $100,000 per year, you'll need a strong foundation in biology, ecology, and chemistry. Many professionals in this field hold advanced degrees in marine biology, botany, or related disciplines, and often conduct field work in diverse environments, collect algae samples, and use laboratory techniques to analyze them. Roles are available in academic institutions, government agencies, research organizations, or private companies, and is instrumental in advancing our understanding of algae's ecological roles. It is one of the lesser-known careers at the forefront of understanding our changing world, and beyond the pay, is highly rewarding in knowing that you can make a difference. Number 4. Escalator Installer, 65 to 108,000. The role of an escalator installer, which can pay more than $100,000 per year, is crucial in the modern world, as it's responsible for ensuring the safe and efficient operation of escalators in various settings, such as shopping malls, airports, train stations, and office buildings. Escalator installers will work with a team of technicians and engineers to assemble, position, and install escalators according to manufacturer specs and safety standards, and they're involved in every stage of putting a new escalator in place. They'll prepare the project by checking the blueprints and operating manuals and check that all the components, parts, and tools are on hand. They will then assemble and position the structural framework, drive mechanisms, stairs, and handrails, a stage at which absolute precision is critical to ensure proper alignment and function. After connecting the electrical system and perform initial safety checks, they then conduct rigorous testing to verify that the escalator operates smoothly. With a combination of mechanical and technical understanding as well as a meticulous attention to detail, There are several certifications you'll need to begin a career in escalation installation and maintenance, with each individual escalator manufacturer offering their own specific courses. With the demand on these installers being driven by urbanization and the need to maintain and expand public transport and commercial facilities, opportunities are only going to improve in the coming years. This work directly contributes to the safety and convenience of millions of people who rely on escalators daily, and is therefore a pivotal role in urban mobility and infrastructure. Number 3. Crystallographer, 68 to 84,000. Crystallography is a fascinating scientific field that looks into the atomic structures of crystals, and crystallographers are the scientists who specialize in doing this. Their work covers a range of scientific domains including chemistry, physics, biology, and materials sciences, and they play a crucial role in material analysis. Now, fundamentally, crystallographers are responsible for unveiling the atomic arrangements within crystals, a process that involves several essential steps. It all begins with the preparation of a highly quality crystal sample, which is tricky enough in the first place, and then once a suitable crystal is obtained, they can start with data collection. The most commonly used technique is X-ray crystallography, where X-rays are directed at the crystal and the resulting diffraction pattern is recorded. The angles and intensities of the diffracted X-rays contain crucial information about the atomic structure hidden within the crystal. Once this data has been collected, then it needs to be analyzed and use specialized software and mathematical methods. And during this phase, crystallographers will need to solve intricate equations and refine atomic models to match the observed diffraction pattern. Crystallographers are, for example, employed in pharmaceutical companies and material science organizations, where researchers are attempting to create new medicines or strong materials, and can provide analysis that makes products more effective and reliable. And it's for this reason that they're paid more than you'd probably expect, with an experienced crystallographer easily able to command a salary of around $85,000 a year. Number 2. Broadway Theater Makeup Artist, $100,000 to $135,000. Now, you might normally expect certain creative industries to pay particularly well when you hit the big time, like actors and directors, but this runs true for most roles, and the top theater makeup artists on Broadway can, in the right production, earn as much as $135,000 a year. As well as being a dream-come-true job for many makeup enthusiasts and creative professionals, this is, though, a highly specialized role that's a key part of any production. A theater makeup artist's responsibilities will include working closely with directors, costume designers, and actors to create makeup looks that align with the production's overall vision, and then further delving into the script and character backgrounds to design makeup looks that bring those characters to life. They'll need to consider historical accuracy, the show's time period, and the emotional depth of each character when crafting their designs, and how these looks should change throughout the show. For every performance, they will, of course, oversee a team of artists applying makeup to actors, and especially on Broadway, the use of special effects makeup to create unique characters or convey dramatic elements. Makeup artists may need to know how to use prosthetics, body paint, and other special techniques to achieve these looks seamlessly. Once the actors are ready, it's far from the end for the makeup team, because they'll also need to be present backstage to perform touch-ups and ensure that actors' makeup remains consistent throughout the show. This requires continual attentiveness and quick problem-solving skills. To be a true industry leader, you'll also need to keep up to date with the latest makeup trends, techniques, and products, and in doing so, it'll keep you ahead of the rest of the field. Number 1. Hot dog vendor, $60,000 to $100,000. Anyone going to New York will expect to see one thing in particular on the streets: hot dog vendors. But rather than being a low-paying job like you might think, it can be an incredibly lucrative profession, with some vendors easily earning in excess of $100,000 a year. The first sign of how profitable it can be is the competition for getting a license in the first place. There are only 3,100 licenses in all of New York, with the waiting list said to be more than 20 years. In the parks, though, licenses go up for auction every 5 years and can vary wildly in price. The cheapest in Inwood Park recently cost around $700,000 a year, but it's not the busiest of locations and would be lucky to make more than $5,000 a year. At the other end of the scale, though, are the ones in Central Park. The license to be able to have your hot dog cart outside the front of the Metropolitan Museum of Art once reportedly went for $400,000, and there are plenty others too around Central Park that cost in the hundreds of thousands too. The reason for this is, of course, that these are places that have by far the highest footfall, and the vendors in those places, as long as they're able to work long hours, can make a fortune. It's hardly easy work, though, because profit on each sale is relatively low, and some vendors have said they need to sell 500,000 drinks and dogs in a year just to break even. I'll see you guys next time.
Watch our binge-watching playlist if you'd like to watch all of our most popular top 15 videos. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and get ready to binge.
Thank you to our channel members.